Action. Ready?
Kyle and I have known each other for going on to my 20-something years now.
20 years, huh?
20 years, right?
Crazy.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, we were about like 15, maybe 14 teenagers.
It was around that time, and I just remember you getting in trouble a lot. That was it. That's honest. I mean, just being honest.
And since then, we've been best friends.
Yeah, we should have been in jail or we're probably dead well before we pulled this together. Brewery idea came about
10 years after we knew each other, 15 years after we met, probably.
5 years, 6 years ago.
Yeah, so about 15 years. Kind of a funny story, right? So our friend Clay was supposed to pick him up from the airport, and he was super sick. He was really probably hungover. And he's like, "Hey man, can you go pick up Joey and Kristen?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I go and I pick him up, and I'm like, "Hey, you want to stop somewhere for a beer?" And the answer is always yes.
And that night, somebody said they wanted to start a brewery.
And then I said, "Let's call it LauderAle."
That's the part that he get confused on.
See, I beat you to the punch again.
I came up with the name. Kyle wanted to start a business. At least that's my perception of it. The next morning, like literally that morning, Kyle called me at like 10. And he's like, "Hey, I'm looking online for home brew kits. They're like 200 or whatever, $250. Do you want to go half in on a home brew kit?" And I was like, "Yeah, whatever." Sure. And we bought that, and it showed up like a week later or something.
Yep.
And then,
a week later.
And then we brewed it, and
well, the thing is we thought it was going to be there at like 5 o'clock. So everybody came over. There's like 6 or 8 of us, and we're like, "All right, the home brew kit's going to be here soon." So we get some beers and we're hanging out, and we're like, "All right, like where is this thing?" Like 7 o'clock rolls around. Like, finally, it showed up at like 9 o'clock. It was packed in like hay or like this weird packing material. We're like, rip it apart in my little condo.
Did it have like a DVD or?
Yeah, it had a DVD. Yeah. I put the DVD in because I didn't know what to do. He's like boiling water already.
Useless, yeah.
Like, what the fuck? We gotta watch this DVD.
Yeah, the DVD didn't tell you anything about any of what we were supposed to do.
So we started brewing at like 9 p.m. And little did we know, like the brewing process is like 7 hours.
Right.
Anyways, it was Irish red ale.
Yeah.
And it turned out just fine.
I never drank it.
Yeah, Joey had to go back to New Zealand, I think.
Yeah.
And that was the very first batch of beer that we ever made. So we brewed a few batches there. We bottled them. Meanwhile, I'm starting to go through like all the licensing and everything.
That's right. Because he wanted to start a business.
I incorporated. I'm getting insurance policies, bonds.
And I just liked all the engineering and thermodynamics, moving fluids around, and it'd be cool, you know.
So Joey came back, and we moved into his garage, doing a 15-gallon batch, but we were getting like 10 gallons out of it, I think, or something, right?
And then we had 2 refrigerators, a fermenter, and a bright tank in each one.
Right.
And then we would give beer away. We learned the hard way that you can't sell beer without a license. It's actually illegal.
That's true. We started expanding our recipes. At that point, we started like temperature controlling our fermentation in
we learned like
chest
all
freezers.
Basically, you make craft beer, and then we would just take it to this group of guys that were like, actually John,
John was in Flab, yeah.
And we'd be like, "Hey, what's wrong with this beer?" And they would tell us, and then we would learn like, okay, we have to do that. We brewed a shit ton, at least like 15 hours a week of our free time.
Yeah, like all weekend.
All weekend, every weekend was like brewing beer, cleaning, getting rid of beer, selling it, and then drinking it.
We didn't sell it. What we did do is we would go to like the Starlight Musicals in Holiday Park. Yeah. Remember we bought that banner and like people would just come up and drink free beer?
Yeah.
There's still people that come into the brewery today that are like, "Oh, I remember you guys were at like Starlight Musical."
One banner of like LauderAle.
Yeah. Since we were in Joey's sister's house, his parents were like, they saw like how passionate we were and how interested we were, and we started looking for places, and they're like, "Well, we have this warehouse if you guys want to rent it from us, like, you know, it's available, you know." So we started looking around, and we came over here and we're like, "Yeah, let's put the brewery here."
Yeah.
And then we looked at the business model and we're like, "Shit, we're gonna go broke unless we have a tasting room here."
Right.
You know, because we were just wanting to make beer, like we didn't care about anything else. From the time that we I picked Joey up from the airport to the time that we opened. I believe it was about 18 months to the day. From conception to the doors opening was 18 months.
Right.
Yeah. So we opened on Thursday or Wednesday or whatever, and by Sunday, the first weekend went by, we had run out of beer. And I'm like, well, what are we gonna do? Like, what happens if we don't make it? And he's like, oh, just close the doors.
Turn the lights off.
Turn the lights off.
Close
like,
the doors.
You know, don't worry about it. And for the first year, it was like, how do we keep up? Like, we just can't keep up. Running out of beer.
We had like 6 taps when we first opened.
We had 6 taps, yeah.
Right.
And I remember the weekend after we opened, we bought like 4 more fermenters.
Right.
So as we, kept depleting, our inventory, we're like, all right, like we need to upgrade. Like this is serious. Like people, they don't stop coming.
Yeah.
We're running out of beer all the time.
Which was like 8 people in a night. It was a lot at the time.
Yeah. Things that people really like about us is that they've gotten to grow with us, and they've seen us go through all of the changes.
Yeah.
Instead of just opening up and being like, okay, like this is it, now we're open. And we didn't have the funds to do that, so it's like we'll just do it as we can.
Yeah.
And it's really brought us like a really good core customer base, because they see that every penny that we make, like we reinvest back into the business. So, the fact that we have 30 beers on tap, is a large variety. They range from 3.5% up to 14%. We've got light lagers, we've got brown ales, Irish red ales, sours, porters, stouts. I mean, you name it, we've got it.
Variety.
We did that with a lot of purpose, because we understand that, people like variety. And I think it's really impressive, and it really goes to Joey as far as, the fact that we can make 30 different beers, on a 3-barrel system. And I think that's what really sets us apart from the competition, and what makes us unique, and what keeps bringing people back here.
Yeah.
Like, it's all about the detail, every little detail, you have to get right in order for people to come here and enjoy themselves and to come back. And you don't just stumble upon this place, so you have to go out of your way to get here. And it really brings like a different type of person, They didn't come here by accident. Like, they went out of their way, and they probably got lost. And maybe they waited for the train for an hour.
Yeah.
And it's really, brought us like a unique customer base.
It's a very core customer.
Yeah,
base.
it's
Very
like
loyal, very good people that are down to earth. They're sort of like Kyle and I. Like, they're not like looking to go like rage and again spend $20 on a beer. They just want to relax. Know they have a seat when they come here, try a new beer, and talk to somebody they know, because they're all been here. They're all come here.
Yeah, I mean, they want to get off the beaten path, and they want to go somewhere that is kind of hidden, a little bit hard to get to. Some people probably call it a secret, and it's worked to our advantage, I think. We like kind of being over here and out of the way. Although it's a pain in the ass sometimes, I think it's really, created something for that didn't exist, And people come in here all the time and they're like, wow, this place is so cool, like I love it, like thank you so much. And I really tell them, well, like, thank you, I mean, we can't do it unless people come through this door and drink beer. So, yeah, I mean, we have this building here, and we have these tanks, and we have the beer, but if we didn't have so many loyal customers, come through here and
Give us their feedback.
and tell us how much they appreciate this, like, we wouldn't be able to survive. So,
yeah.
We're so appreciative of that, because they bought in to our vision, basically.
Yeah.
And to our passion, and to our hard work. Never enough cheers in the world. Remember that, Joey. Never enough cheers.
You remember that. I'm happy all the time.